What's going on, y'all? Nick here, coming to you with another video. Man, Jada Pinkett did it again. Check this one out.
Like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah. There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on
Right.
paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership.
Partnership.
Yes, because
Okay.
here's the thing about
Tell me.
husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing
yeah.
process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is.
Yeah.
He can't be this perfect, idealized
Yes.
husband.
Yes, of course
I
not.
have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He
Yes,
accepts
it's
me
you.
for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have this.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Hold it. That's
it's
the
another
only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess
I was
what?
like, hold
It
up.
is found. We found it today. We found it today.
Oh my gosh. This woman is psychotic. Okay, check this one out, you guys. Okay, there's a thing that, people engage in, narcissists in particular. It's called equivocation. Equivocation is a form of, communication where pretty much you can be both this and that, so that when you're trying to hold people accountable for something that they said, they can always say, well, I did say I was this, but then if you try to hold them accountable for this, they said, but I did say I was that. Do you see where I'm getting at? So this is how people like Jada Pinkett, could be separated but not divorced. They are living together but they live in separate lives. Do you get how confusing that could be? And it's meant to be confusing because, again, narcissistic people, they don't want to be held accountable. They don't ever want to be viewed as the people that they are, which essentially is just scumbags. That's all they are. They're scumbags. And let me tell you why this is so disturbing, right? You see, when you are married to a narcissist, especially when a man is married to a narcissist, forms of abuse is not very apparent. You see, it's not in the traditional sense where you might see bruises. A lot of it is psychological. The warfare is very mental. So you will engage with a narcissistic person and you'll find out that you're never able to satisfy them. And that's very hard. You see, because here's the thing, right? A lot of times narcissists, they tend to find the host, and that is the terminology you need to remember, right? They find a host because they themselves are almost like parasites, and they feed off of the host, and the host starts to get drained. So when they find a host, this host is usually someone who's very, driven, very motivated, they're very successful. But here's the thing, you can never please the narcissist. So what ends up happening now is that the host ends up working themselves to death trying to please the narcissist, right? The parasite, and come to find out they never could please them. And this is the reason why you saw a culmination of the blow up at the Oscars when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, right? Because that's essentially what we're realizing here. This man is always trying to, appease and pander to his wife, but it's not his wife, because they were living together, but for the past 6 years they were separate. You see where I'm getting at, right? So, and this is why they do it, right? Pay attention. This is the key here. You see, because narcissists position themselves in a very opportunistic way. And what is that way? Well, how they do it is pretty much if the host is successful, then because they could always say, well, we're together, we're married, right? But then when the host, starts to fall on hard times, that could come in the form of, losing their job, or in Will Smith's case, losing, being banned from the Oscar for 10 years or so. Now they could say, oh, but I was never with him. But now look at this recent interview that I showed in the beginning of the video, where it's just like, oh, we working on our relationship. Really? What is she doing here? You see, this is what I was trying to tell people before, right? Jada Pinkett is trash. Jada Pinkett has no clout. Jada Pinkett she is not relevant. Truth be told, outside of Will Smith, nobody cares about this woman anymore. What has she done? And see, and here's the thing, right? She's trying to get something done. She's trying to sell that book. But here's the thing, right? Do you think people care about Jada Pinkett enough to really buy that book? No. So what she's trying to do, she's trying to create some drama. You get what I'm saying? She's trying to drag Will Smith's name down, and people are falling for it. And truth be told, it's true. Will Smith is a very broken individual, because as a man, why would you put up with that? Why would you put up with somebody that continually and consistently puts you down, run your name in the mud? And she doesn't care, guys, because again, she's a narcissist. The only person she's capable of caring about is herself. As much as she claims she cares about Tupac, if Tupac was alive, she probably wouldn't give two shits about him anyway. She probably was trying to just be with him because of that clout. You get what I'm saying? She's chasing the ghost that is Tupac. But if anybody's ever been in a relationship, people grow and people change. You think Tupac would have remained that same, and I'm not hating on Tupac, but I'm just speaking facts. He was a young man. You think he would not have changed over the years? You think he would still have that same childish mentality up into his 50s? No. The man would have done change, and rightfully so. And when that time comes, which is going to happen because it's part of life, people grow and they change. You think what happens now when Tupac is probably not as relevant? Because that's the cycle of rappers, right? You get big, and then you kind of plateau, and then the new generation comes, you kind of taper off. What would have happened then? You think she still would have been that ride or die, dancing with Tupac, but yet you're gonna lip sync to a Will Smith song? You see, she's a narcissist, guys. She's a straight up narcissist. Stay away from such people. You guys, listen up, right? And this actually goes for both men and women, but especially men. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you find yourself in a relationship with a narcissist, you need to run as fast away as possible. You got to run and save yourself, because all you're going to do, the greatest commodity as a man that you have is your time. All right? You could lose everything in life. Trust me when I'm telling you this. This is probably the biggest wisdom you're ever going to get. As a man, your greatest commodity is time. You can lose money. You can lose friends. You can lose family. You can lose everything in the world, and you can always replace it. You can always make more money. You can always make more friends. You can always get more family. You can replace anyone and anything except time. Once your time is gone, it's wraps. You see, this is why the Most High said life is like a vapor of mist, right? Once your time is gone, you're not going to get it back, and life is way too short to spend it being miserable with a narcissist. All right, you guys? Make sure you understand, run away from such people. They are psychotic, and they are toxic as hell. I hope you received the message. With that being said, Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is king, y'all.